Hi, good morning. I'm Laura, and this video is going to be about what I was talking about before, and this is about a session I had recently where a client went to another planet. And this was very special and very validating because it was the kind of experience where my client had no idea of this place and certain words that she used prior to the session, which means after the session we Google and we find all this stuff, and she had never heard of it, so it's very cool. So what happened was, essentially what she did was reunited with her, we'll say, original body. What does that mean? So we're in the session and she goes back to her original body. We are on a planet called Nibiru. And on Nibiru, her body that's there has been waiting for her. So essentially what happened was, the beings on this planet, when they gather enough experience and life force energy, and they've gone through their life and they've kind of like become full to the brim of knowledge and experience and energy, they start to send aspects of themselves out to other points of the universe. And a lot of times they're sending aspects out to Earth to incarnate as human. And they do that because they're of such high vibrational, frequency, that they're sending out these high vibe aspects to places that need it, like here. And so this session was kind of like, it was beyond a lot of sessions I've had, just because it was this beautiful reunion, almost like waiting eons for this to happen, and then it happens. And for me to be a witness to this and facilitate it is mind-boggling to me. I love this work so much, but this is about Nibiru. So we're on Nibiru, which, by the way, I mean, the name Nibiru, how cool is that, right? Because I'd never heard of it either before this, and then of course I do the research and they're just, okay, so we're on Nibiru and she's reuniting with her original body, and we get all this lovely information about it, like I just said, about how they send aspects out and then call them back when it's time, when it's ready, which means she doesn't have many more incarnations left on this planet. In fact, I think this might be either the last or second to last, I can't quite recall. And so we're there on Nibiru, and this place is almost idyllic. It's not fantasy. It's not like, oh, we float around and it's sparkly gold. It's not like that. It's a planet. And the thing is they have like recreational sports and they have homes. And so like their home is like structured in a way where it's almost like a living thing, where I've talked about in another video, I believe, where we visited a ship with another client and the walls were semi-biological, almost like a living thing. And so that's how these homes were. It was like a semi-biological place, and they were kind of open, where like, as in like no locks and doors kind of thing. And there's this really cool thing that they have there where when they're drained of energy or they're feeling like fatigued, I guess, they sit in, everybody has this like a pool of purple liquid, and they just sit there for what they said was 15 minutes. But of course, our time is different than theirs, whatever, but 15 minutes of sitting in this stuff and it fills them up and they're fine. And we actually had her go and sit in it so that she could actually feel it. So in these sessions, it's very cool because when you're going through these things with your consciousness, you're visualizing and doing these things, when you come back to your full consciousness, full awareness, I should say, after the session, you could still feel the energy, which she did. It's very, very cool. And so she did that. And then I actually was very intrigued about, for some reason, I just wanted to ask about how, children were made, or how more beings of that kind were made, because they're also like grounded, and they're such high vibe and beyond, you know what I mean? Like they are what we are striving to be. As you know, when we're in 3D, we're trying to get to 5D, 6D, just climb the D's, so to speak. That sounds kind of weird, but you know what I mean. And so it's really interesting because when they want to create another being, they come together and they fuse their energy together and create a being, rather than like physical sexual intercourse. It's a coming together of energies and creating a being. And another step further, which was really cool, I was like, oh, okay, so does it have to be a male energy and a female energy, after asking are there male and female, because in some of these worlds you get like androgynous beings. And yes, there are male, there's female, and they could shift. And in order to procreate, it could be male female, or if the energies are very balanced, it can even be female, female, male, male. So I thought that was pretty cool too. What else? I think, oh, and then in the session, what was really cool was a word came up of another planet. And this other planet is like the sister planet to Nibiru, and it's a word like Maldek or something like that. And again, my client had never heard of this word before. We look it up, and that's where we find that it is in relation to Nibiru. So it pretty much blew our minds, like hardcore awesomeness, and I wanted to share it with you. I did end up transcribing this session into like the little ebooks I make, so I'm going to put the link in the description. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. There's more coming. Sessions don't stop, and we're getting like really amazing otherworldly, innerworldly experiences coming through. It's just like astounding, and it never stops. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found it intriguing. And I'll be back with more. Love you. Bye.